Hello again, juniors. Welcome to week 7. We're going to go over the assignments you need to get done this week. I feel like I just talked to you on Friday, but let's go over what you need to get done this week so you can get all caught up. It should be a relatively straightforward week. I know that there are things I still need to grade, and I plan to get caught up on that grading this week. Most importantly, your Cornell notes. So you should have 2 sets of Cornell notes. We talked about this on Friday. You should have a week 3 set of Cornell notes that you then revised for week 4. And then I took week 5 and week 6 and I put those 2 together into one set of Cornell notes. And I'm going to be checking both of those sets this week. In fact, the tutor is going to be checking both of those. I'm meeting with him on Monday to make sure he knows how to grade them and everything like that. And then he's going to go through and give you scores and comments. And then I will put that into Jupiter grades for you so you can see how you're doing with Cornell notes. Because I know there's basically 2 categories of juniors that we have right now. We've got juniors that were with Mr. Moran, and so I'm not 100% sure the way I do Cornell notes matches up with the way that he did Cornell notes. It's not right or wrong, it's just different. And then there's students who are new to AVID as juniors, and this might be your first time of having Cornell notes for at least 4 classes. So these may all be new experiences. The only way we get better at things is to give it a try, see how it went, learn from our mistakes, and then move forward. And so that is a very growth mindset type of way of AVID dealing with things. So get those Cornell notes done. If you haven't already, they should be done by the time you watch this video on Monday. You're ready to go. This week's schedule is normal, typical schedule for distance learning, which means you need to check in to Monday's meeting, but Monday I'll be going over senior stuff, and then you and I will have a chat on Wednesday for all the stuff this week. Okay? All right, let's go take a look at what it is you are actually doing this week. Let me share my screen. There we go. Okay, so in our AVID notebook for week 7, I've got the check-in meeting stuff. Here's what we've got going. It's kind of 3 different things. So the last 2 weeks ago, I had you pick 5 colleges from that list of 20, and I had you go through and go do some research off of their website and things like that and take some notes down. All right, last week I had you go do 2 more schools, 2 different schools than the original 5. So you should have now a total of 7, right? Well, this week I'm going to have you do 5 more to make a total of 12. And there's a reason why I want to get to the number 12, because the second thing I'm going to have you do this week is you're going to take those 12 schools and you're going to break them into 3 categories. And so what happens when we go looking at what colleges we want to apply to next year, you want to break your colleges into basically 3 categories, which are your dream schools, good schools, and then your backup schools. And so we're going to talk more about this on Wednesday when we have our meeting, and we're going to actually create those categories and start to put schools into those categories. But we can't put schools into those categories until we know enough about those schools. So that's where the 12 schools that you've done research on come from. So I'm hoping that you show up on Wednesday with at least the 7 from the last 2 weeks. If you have the 12, that would be great, but at least the 7 from the last 2 weeks. And so that you know something about them, you know where they're located, you kind of got the idea of the diversity, you got an idea about their programs, you got an idea about why people like it or why people don't like it. I was just talking to one of our seniors on Friday. For the last year and a half, he's been saying, oh, that art school that came from San Francisco sounded wonderful. I want to go to that school. I think it's great. And then he looked up stuff on the internet and he found out that people were saying, actually, the school isn't as good as it makes itself out to be. It's a lot of money for not the best of the programs. And so he started to find a whole bunch of negative stuff about this school, which he thought was like, oh, that's the school I want to go to. And he turns out he's like, you know what? I don't want to go that way anymore. I'm going to go a different route. And so that happens. But you don't want to get into a college thinking it's one way, and then you come to find out it's something else. And you're like, dude, I'm stuck here, at least for a year, where you can transfer, or for 4 years to get your degree. So you don't want to be stuck. No. You want to be going somewhere that you're like, I like it here. Okay? So anyway, we'll talk about that on Wednesday. And then you're going to do Cornell Notes questions and summary again this week for week 7. I don't know why it has the word combined here. It's not combined. It's just for week 7. Okay, so let me break them down to a little more detail. So again, Cornell Notes. So you're going to pick 4 classes from this week. Take the information that you've learned in those classes, whether it be videos, worksheets, articles from the textbook, anything you've learned from this class, from notes, from the teacher talking, whatever. Create 3 questions and then answer those 3 questions in a summary. And again, you are doing that under your name over here into the section that you created. So nothing to turn into Jupyter for that. It's all done in the online notebook. Second thing is those 5 more schools. So now go back to that list of 20, go pick 5 more. If it's not on your list of 20, but you're like, you know what, I really want to look up Stanford. I didn't put Stanford on my list of 20. That's fine. Go look up Stanford. I want you to go find schools that you're interested in, not hold you to anything you've done in the past. So pick 5 more schools, and it's the same spiel. Go to their website, find out information, take notes. Go to Google, do some searches, take notes. Go find out the diversity, write it down, and then compare it to Chula Vista, take some notes, and then go look it up on Google Maps, see where it's at, answer some questions about it, take some notes. And so what you're turning in for this assignment, again, I should see 5 schools with notes for each of the 5 schools based on what you've researched. And that's what you're going to be getting graded on. Okay. And then the third thing I'm asking you to do this week, which again, we will do together on Wednesday, is to create these 3 categories and really talk about what is a dream school, what is a good school, what is a backup school. And then what you have to create is you take those 12 schools that you've researched and you break them up into these categories. Now, you could have like 6 dream schools, 3 good schools, and 3 backups. Or 2 dream schools, 6 good schools, and what's that come out to be? 4 backups. The numbers, don't worry, they don't have to break up evenly between these categories. I just want you to put them in categories. And again, we're going to talk about that more on Wednesday. That all you're turning in is basically, these are my dream schools. Blah, 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 blah. These are my good schools. List of them. And then these are my backup schools. And we'll get into the research of it a little bit later. But that's what we're doing. That's the week. So you're turning in a list, which we will do together on Wednesday. You're turning in notes from 5 more schools that you've researched, and you are putting your Cornell Notes questions and summaries over here underneath your name for this week's learning. Okay. Hopefully you're starting to get in the role of notes and things and how to turn stuff in. And this is seeming like less and less work, hopefully, and you can concentrate on getting your grades up in your other classes. That's what I want. I want you to get good grades in your other classes. I think that would be awesome, and that would help you get to college as well. So that is the work for the week. Make sure to come to the Monday meeting so you can check in for attendance, but we will conversate on Wednesday a lot more. But again, you're always welcome to come to the senior meeting if you want to. All right, I will see everybody Monday, but definitely on Wednesday. Have a good one.